All right, guys, in this short video, I want to explain how, if you're diagnosed with adrenal fatigue, how I would tackle it naturally from this point. So, first of all, you're not going to fix the adrenals. Actually, I don't think the adrenals are really the problem. What I mean by that, your adrenals are a backup system. Think of them like if your electricity goes out, you have a generator. Well, the adrenals are kind of the generator of your system. So, we need to focus on fixing the problem upstream that's causing these symptoms and so forth that you're suffering from. So let's just talk real quick. What are the adrenal glands? What are they doing? Why is this an issue? First of all, they're on top of each of your kidneys. There's two of those glands. And when you have a stress of any type, it could be lifestyle, it could be seeing a bear in the woods, it could be your diet. You're going to see an increase in stress hormones. For example, cortisol, epinephrine, and DHEA. Now, short term, good process. You need this. Long term, if it's done chronically, that's when we're going to start to see these problems pop up that we talked about. And at the end of the day, you essentially burn out your adrenals. You have quote unquote adrenal fatigue. Okay. So adrenal fatigue really at the end of the day is a chronic stress disease. Again, we're talking lifestyle. Could be work, could be lack of sleep. But for most people that come to me who are experiencing these problems, it's because of how they're eating. They're starting to rely on a stress-based metabolism. So we have to address that. Okay. This is why your diet is so critical to helping your adrenal function. So let's say a lot of people come to me, they're doing keto, they're doing carnivore, they've done it long term, they're beginning to experience issues because they're severely limiting carbs. I did this for many years. Okay. As you cut back those carbs, okay, long term, your thyroid function does begin to become impaired. Now, there's other things, bad things that going low carb that long does to your body, but in particular, it does hurt your thyroid function. In short, no carbs means your body is forced to rely on the adrenals. Again, it's going to kick out those stress hormones. And it does that because your body recognizes you're not getting fuel in the form of carbs, aka glucose. So it kicks out these stress hormones, begins to make fuel from fat and from protein. Okay. Now, just real quick backstory. I had done low carb, intermittent fasting for so long, I began to experience symptoms. These are classic adrenal fatigue symptoms. I was anxious all the time. Even when I tried to go to bed, trying to relax, I felt anxious. I would get tired, but still couldn't sleep, beginning to experience digestive systems. Even though I was eating very few calories, was not losing weight. In fact, I was gaining weight. So these are some of those hallmark symptoms. Now, here's what I did and what I would do again if I had adrenal fatigue. First of all, understand, I realize saying it's a stress disease and you need to get rid of stress, that's not realistic, but you can become more resilient to stress. Okay. First of all, minimize unnecessary things. Stop the extreme diets. Your thyroid function will benefit from adding carbs back in. When your thyroid benefits, again, this is that upstream thing. When your thyroid benefits, your adrenals will benefit. And this is just something I've noticed. I keep an eye on some of these influencers who are doing keto and carnivore. They're beginning to burn out. They're beginning to admit that, listen, they have to add fruits. Usually at the start of it, they have to add carbs back in because they're beginning to run into problems because it's a stress-based type of eating. And so they're adding these carbs back in. And again, what you'll experience when you first do this, your stress levels drop because it's a signal to your body that you have fuel. Okay. That's the big takeaway here. So here's my step-by-step approach. What I would do again, I began reintroducing natural, easily digestible carb sources. Made a video about this yesterday, I believe, just going over the best carb sources. So make sure to go check that out. Get rid of polyunsaturated fatty acids, sunflower oil, corn oil, canola oil, all that stuff will decrease your metabolism, decreases thyroid function. That is not what we want. Okay. Stop focusing so much on muscle meats. This was my carnivore phase when I really started experiencing problems. Your phosphorus to calcium ratio can get off. This does not make muscle meats bad. They're a good source of protein, a lot of nutrients, but too much is not a good thing. So I would back off on that. As soon as this happens and you do these three things, I notice my digestive symptoms begin to improve. And when you begin to heal the gut, a lot of good things happen. As my gut began to heal and I reintroduced these foods, my liver health began to improve. And that's important because you need to be able to have thyroid hormone conversion, that T4 to T3. 80% of it is going on in your liver. Okay. It's also going to help regulate hormones like keeping estrogen levels down. Best of all, because you're fueling your body now, you're going to take that load off your adrenals. They're not going to have to kick out the stress hormones to make fuel for you because now you're giving your body the foods it needs and the lifestyle it needs. Okay. So these are the foods I ate. Proteins, I'd focus on raw dairy if you can get it. If you're having trouble right now, particularly with digestive issues, you may want to try some cheeses. Gelatin is a really good option. I supplement with gelatin each day in the form of a gelatin powder. I consume bone broth. I do muscle meats in moderation, seafood, and collagen. Okay. Fats, I'd focus on mainly saturated in the form of grass-fed butter, maybe even some ghee if you like that. Primarily for me, it's butter. I also cook a lot in coconut oil, and I will just eat coconut oil with some of my meals. It's a great metabolism booster. Okay. Carbs, focus on ripe fruits, real fruit juice, honey, maple syrup, cane sugar. Well-cooked potatoes could be an option. Some people don't tolerate those as well right out of the gate. Jasmine rice, properly fermented sourdough. All those are going to be things you're probably going to have to experiment with. If they don't agree with you, just focus on the ones earlier on, the ripe fruits and so forth. Okay. So what are the results? Okay. You need to understand this will help you, but it is not a quick process. People always ask, well, I'm not getting results in a month. I don't feel better in a month. It may take much longer than that. It probably took me 6 months before I really started to feel stuff kicking in. Okay. Digestion improved. My sleep improved. Like last night, for example, I went to bed 9:30 or 10, woke up 5:15, just naturally. I was ready to get up at 5:30. So I did, but I don't remember waking up. My sleep's just improved dramatically. That's going to help the weight loss. That's going to help your hormones. Like I said, their hormones recovered. The anxiety's gone. I'm not anxious anymore, and I'm not an anxious person to start with. So it was a very odd feeling to have that anxiety all the time, like this low grade anxiety. That's gone. And I began to lose weight naturally. I'm not where I want to be. Again, this is not a quick process. It does take some time, but you're going to find that I think you'll experience similar benefits just like that. Okay. So this is kind of a synopsis of what I did, what I would do again. I would be smarter about it, but those are the basic steps. Let me know in the comments, other videos you'd like me to cover. I want to do stuff that's helpful for you guys. I hope this was helpful. See you in the next one.